Today's show is brought to you by Devil May Cry fan art, because no matter how many stupid trailers you show, the way you've treated customers will never, and I mean never, be forgotten. YouTube Nation, Main Event TV, aka Me TV, aka there's been so much damn backtracking by this company, you might as well make it a sport at this point. Don't sit here and tell me, after all the months, that's right, all the egotistical stuff, all the mocking of the fans, after all we've heard about how this is going to be a rebirth, it's going to be a reboot, it's going to be canon, all of a sudden, that's right, go back and look at the interviews, all of a sudden, it's a parallel dimension, a parallel universe. Are you fucking kidding me? I thought Ninja Theory was supposed to be hailed for their storytelling. And all I'm seeing now is a bunch of junk. But since it's been about 5 months since I've done a standalone Devil May Cry video, let's step back. That's right. Let's go back to Tokyo Game Show when they first showed the trailer and we saw this in the beginning. Now, when I first saw that, what did I say to you guys? That's a scapegoat. I said it's bullshit because they put the little work in progress signal up trying to tell you guys, lower your expectations, please don't judge us. After months and months, we had to hear them talk all this shit about how great they were and, you know, how hard they're working, and I'll get on that later. They didn't want you to judge them. That's what happened, and some of you guys fell for it. Well, this is the logical part of the work in progress signal when they put that little bar up, because I put it like this. It was the first trailer we've seen, and we know it's a work in progress. We know this. But technically, putting that up to try to tell you guys to lower your expectations, did you notice the other trailers that came after it? They didn't have them. You want to know why? That means logically, since they put that up and didn't put it for the other ones, that means that's what you're getting. They finalized the combat. They've nailed down the combat. Now, if you're still saying to yourself you don't like what the combat looks like, then guess what? That's what you're getting. That is what you're getting. Oh, by the way, at Tokyo Game Show, yeah, they didn't win any Best of Awards. Let's get that straight, because that's what they were aiming for. Link is in the info bar for that. That's right. Understand, this is what it's come down to. This is what the finalized combat looks like. And you guys are probably going to say, oh, no, it isn't finalized. Really? Let's hear Tameem and them what they have to say about the combat.
Today we've been showing mainly combat because, you know, I think actually the most important aspect of DMC is the fun chaining of combos and the combat system and how that feels. But it was important for us to make sure that you could swap between everything on the fly as you go along, because that gives you more creativity as a player to chain different combos together.
Hold up. Are you insinuating that the previous Devil May Cries didn't have this type of creativity when comboing and chaining? Because I have to ask that, and I know some of you guys will say, wait a minute, Event, you're misunderstanding. No, I'm asking a question. And I'm saying this is the type of questions that need to be asked, all right? And this is what I mean, because the gaming journalists, yeah, they're not doing their job, all right? He's using it as a selling tactic, saying, hey, this is why we're trying to be creative, so that you can be creative, so that you can buy the game. That's what he's using as a selling tactic. I need him to clarify this for me, all right? This is what I'm talking about. These are the type of questions, man. But that never happens because gaming journalists, like I said before, they just throw softballs right down the middle and don't ask the hard questions. And then when the customers, the gamers, have a chance to ask the hard questions when it comes to live chats or whatever, they ignore them.
Questions from the fans. If there's anything else you guys want to add, if the chat is not working, then feel free to add anything else.
Nothing to add right now.
And if anyone remembers that interview, they knew they purposely ignored questions because they didn't want to answer anything. They just wanted to get out of it. They wanted to slither out of there. And then afterwards, what did we see? We all of a sudden started to see, comments disabled? We started seeing ratings disabled. You know what? There's a link in the info bar for you guys of a video that's still disabled by the Capcom community, the Capcom Unity page on YouTube. That's right. But let's keep going, because I want to talk about the fans, because we saw all these people get banned. We saw all these people get their comments taken away, moderated. On their Facebook page, stuff was taken down, threads are shutting down, closed down, so that you don't say anything. It's damage control. Don't you understand it? But let's talk about the fans, because some of you guys are all of a sudden converted. That's right, you're converted because you saw a couple of videos, a couple of trailers, which is a joke. It's almost like looking at a car and saying, hey, that looks nice, but not looking under the hood to see all the problems. And then you end up buying a lemon. But let's keep going, all right? Because I want to say, you converted fans. At first you were like, fuck Devil May Cry, this, that, third. And then you saw some videos and was like, oh, anyone who hates on this game, oh, they're just a hater. Haters are going to hate. And you know what? I'm getting real tired of that phrase. All right, y'all need to come up with something new. And we're going to talk about this for a minute. So because you lack the backbone to stick to what you believed in, all of a sudden everyone else is wrong. It's funny how you fans sit here and say, well, you should let them create. Okay, you want to let them create, then you're pulling the artist card, right? That means you can't pull the business card later. Don't pull it later. Now, I want to say this, because after that, we had to hear, well, they can say what they want. It's freedom of speech. Fine, it's freedom of speech. But anybody who goes against what you're saying in criticism, you say they're haters. And then you go and attack them. And then you make lies up about them and carry on. This is bullshit. Don't sit here a bunch of hypocrites. That's what you are. And yet, you want people to take you seriously. That's funny. But you know what? We got more of that. Because here we have some more backwards-ass fans. You can tell they've never played Devil May Cry. This person has never played Devil May Cry at all. Alright? And now, let's get into this. This guy says, I welcome the cooldown period for the guns because in all the walkthroughs, people would spam the hell out of them way too much. I've never seen that at all. But let's keep going, all right? It says, I'm pretty sure in the playtesting, Ninja Theory realized that as well, and that's why they came up with the cooldown period. A lot of people, pay attention to this, a lot of people play Devil May Cry just like a third-person shooter. What? Really? That's how they, you gotta be kidding. He says, and will only use the sword when enemies get too close to them, and that's sad. There's no way, I'm sorry, there is no way that is correct, alright? You use the guns as a bridge for combos. That is it. There's no way you can go through a game, the entire game, with just using guns. You can't. It's impossible, alright? Because of, well, put it like this. Put on the first one. You can just put on the first one. Put on Dante Must Die. Tell me if you can get through that with all guns. Tell me. Alright? That's bullshit. This is what happens when people don't know what they're talking about. But let's hear some more from some other fans. As this guy says, Ninja Theory doesn't know when to keep their fucking mouth shut. It says, so I was watching the Tokyo Game Show demo for Devil May Cry. The commentary is in Japanese, but the game is in English, so I got to hear Dante talk. It says, corny one-liners, check. It says, arrogant cockhead voice, check. It says either they don't know what angry at the world means, because for those who know, who saw the, link in the info bar, the last one, and the interview with Tameem, he says that, you know, Dante is supposed to be angry at the entire world, alright? It says either they don't know what the word angry at the world means, or they're intentionally trying to piss us off. I think they're just trying to bring back the old Dante, and I say this due to the fact that they know that the numbers are dwindling, and a lot of you guys keep saying, oh, they're just changing everything because they're trying to please the fans. No, they see those numbers dwindling. That's what it is. They need to sell units. That's what it is. You're a unit to them, a unit sold. You loyalists, I keep telling you guys, never be loyal to these companies because they will screw you in the end. They don't even know your fucking name, but you're going to stay loyal to them for some stupid reason. But let's keep going, because Tameem says, anyone who's still backing them, all right, I want you to hear this. Tameem says that AAA games are crushing innovation. The AAA model, it's crushing innovation. Now, if you guys play all these blockbuster games, that's your AAA game. All right? So if you disagree with him, he doesn't care what you think at this point. Just like he didn't care what the Devil May Cry fans thought when they started doing this game. Understand that. Now, I will say this. He says, if you're paying that much for a game, pay attention, really. If you're paying that much for a game, you don't want to take chances, Tameem says. It says you want everything to be there, all the feature sets. You want it to be a known experience, guaranteed fun. That's not healthy. So a fan comes out and questions him and says, what the fuck? So guaranteed fun is not healthy for video games? He says, this guy is so full of shit. Bad-mouthing everything since all his games bombed. That's right. It says, plus what's not healthy about expecting a complete package for a AAA game that costs $60 fucking dollars. It's the company's fault if their game does not meet the expectations of their customers based on how they price their game. Also, by the way, Ninja Theory has no plans for Enslaved 2, which is in the link in the info bar. Understand, guys, this is where it's coming down to. Also, check this out. Namco has said that poor Enslaved sales were based off of the busy holiday period. Now, mind you, this game came out before the holiday season, so I'm not trying to hear that. We heard this before. I told you before in the other video. All right, with the games they went up against, Castlevania and Call of Duty, they weren't going to make money. They brought it out the wrong time. Understand that, guys, but that's not all. Since some of you fans are so wrapped up in the trailers that you've seen, right? You've been wrapped up in the trailers. You know what? Let's talk about that a little bit more, because it seems like a lot of you guys have forgot, you know, what the combat, you know, what the original, I wouldn't say the original, but the previous Devil May Cries have to offer. So if you're sold on 30 frames per second, that's right, if you're sold on 30 frames per second for that game, let's take a look at what the other Devil May Cries had to offer us. Are you ready? I've said before, there is a standard with Devil May Cry, 60 frames per second. If you cannot match that Ninja Theory, then you have lost. But I guess some of you fans are going to come out now and say, well, at 30 frames per second, you can actually see what you're doing. You can take your time. It's more graceful. Bullshit. That just tells me you weren't paying attention or you weren't good enough to handle the 60 frames per second. So now they're dumbing it down. So you're paying top dollar for something that's dumbed down. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. But first, we need to hear more on why Ninja Theory was picked at this point for this game.
The two areas that we've really been collaborating intensely would be the look of the character and then obviously the look and feel of the combat. There are other areas where we give a fairly wide berth to Ninja Theory: atmospherics, mood, storytelling, visual palette as far as the environments go, because we feel that's exactly what we wanted them to refresh the series with, was their vision on that stuff.
But all Ninja Theory has done is taken from other movies, other games. Hell, they even got Dante's new guns from the guy from Darkwatch. What else have you taken from other franchises?
And Dante can use his angel and devil powers to glide, to traverse like Spider-Man.
God, you even take from Spider-Man now? Spider-Man? Look, let's keep going, alright? Because more fan testimonial about this game. People are saying, look, Devil May Cry is always innovative, bringing new things to the genre. DMC 1 invented it. DMC 2 gave us wall running and secondary playable character. DMC 3 introduced styles and had the best combat on the PS2. DMC 4 introduced style on the fly. Mind you, they're using style on the fly in this one too. It says, what does this give us? Nothing, nothing, nothing new. It says at all. It says other than, wait a minute. No, nothing new. That's what it says. It says not even the morph weapon they shove in your face is new. Neither is the enemy grab or the platforming. It's almost like a reskinned Devil Bringer. It says so far, Devil May Cry does not add anything new besides the crappy Devil Trigger, which they did in Devil May Cry 3 with the Quicksilver style. It says, and rumored weapons cooling down, which no one, he says, not looking forward to that. It says most things added on more aesthetics and polish like the distorted world, as we've seen in Bayonetta, and soundtrack building for continuous chaining of attacks, as we've seen in Rez. Understand that the things that Ninja Theory is trying to sell to you have all been done before. So I have to keep asking, why did you pick Ninja Theory? I'm trying to understand this, Capcom. Help the rest of us fans understand this.
You know, having said that, these guys are amazing at story and mood and atmosphere, and we've given them full latitude to sort of make the game they want to make in that sphere. So in a lot of ways, it's been a very productive two-way relationship with us leveraging our relative strengths, and we're pretty happy with where we are at this point.
Well, I guess you could say that combat is the foundation of Devil May Cry. Now, nailing combat is an incredibly important part of it, but you know, if that was all there was to it, then why give it to an external studio like ours? Why not do it internally?
That's the question we are all asking. I don't understand this. Why would you give a subpar dev who hates AAA games, who has bombed at every attempt at them, a franchise of this magnitude? It makes no sense. Going by the statements, they make no sense. That's what it comes down to. Regardless how much you slice it, it doesn't matter how you try to justify it. It makes no sense. But let's hear exactly what Ninja Theory had to go through just to get this going.
Yeah, it has been sort of Ninja Theory going to Capcom University of game control and character movement. So yeah, it was a lot of meetings, a lot of learning, a lot of note-taking, but
nothing. This is a $60 trial, a $60 test run with more to come. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, link in the info bar. Ninja Theory has already started surveying fans, that's right, if they want to see more Devil May Cry spin-offs. So let me get this straight. You can learn at your first time you're doing a run with the Capcom battle system, but you couldn't learn MT Framework, or was that part of the deal? Was it part of the deal to use the Unreal Engine to cater to the Western audience? See, these are the type of questions that need to be answered, because the gaming journalists, they're not doing their jobs. Don't you understand? This is what I'm trying to say. But it seems like nobody wants to hear me. That everyone wants to hear exactly what, you know, Alex or Tameem has to say. And it's funny because Alex, he's confused himself. He doesn't even know what the hell he's talking about at times.
basically just a co-producer of the game, almost at a co-direction level.
There are too many chefs in the kitchen and too many hands in the pot, and you have to understand that even on the Capcom Unity page, links are in the info bar, that's right, even the admins themselves are not a fan of this game. Capcom, Ninja Theory, you have a lot of questions to answer to the fans. That's right, real questions, not this bullshit that these, these game trailers or G4 keeps throwing to you guys. You want us to stay in anticipation of what's going on, but you haven't given people anything to be happy about. So I'm asking you, why should we buy this game? I want you to tell me, why should we buy this game at $60 a pop? At this point, it should be priced at about $30, $40.
Bit by bit, we hope to, turn around some of those negative perceptions, and because I think at the end of the day it's the game that will speak for itself, the game and the overall experience. You should really get your chance to play it and then see how it feels and fits in. I think it's a little premature to completely discount it based on concept art or imagery or screenshots. It's too early for that.
I find that funny you would say that, because I felt it was a little premature, or should I say immature, of you and Alex, that's right, to mock fans as soon as it's something they didn't like, instead of staying professional. But I guess we're supposed to still give you a chance. Let me get this straight, because the days of saying, give it a chance, that shit is over, all right? It's done today, all right? Now, I'll put it like this. For months and months, we had to hear you talk about the fans, mock the fans, call the fans a bunch of names. Now, you want to kiss some ass and say, give it a chance, please, give it a chance. No, 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 no. People understand that there are consequences. You have to understand, they made their bed, let them lie in it. Just like if you do something wrong, if I do something wrong, there's consequences for that. They are not above that. Who the fuck are they? They're nobody. You're going to let somebody talk down to you like a dog for a video game because you saw a trailer all of a sudden it's okay? What the fuck is wrong with you? You have to have some type of integrity. I told you before, this is beyond the video game now. This is about a company trashing customers. A company trashing customers. If you support, I don't know how you can support that. I would love to hear logically how it's okay for a company to trash customers. Any company, you can talk to any company and they'll say the same thing. No, that's stupid because you want to stay in business. You have to understand from a company standpoint that does not work. Or are you still trying to play the artist card? I don't understand. So all you little fans, you get on YouTube and you get all mad. Let's get something straight. The days of questioning my character are over. Understand what I do here. I'm not trying, because all these lies are coming up. Oh, he works for IGN. No, I don't. If you watch my videos, you know I hate IGN. You know that. Oh, he's a gaming journalist. No, I'm not. I do this for fun, all right? And I feel I do this because, you know what? I care about the gaming community. Obviously, you people don't care about gaming communities. Without gaming communities, these games wouldn't be being made. So you would have somewhere to go. Without a gaming community, you wouldn't have a forum to post on. Or without a gaming community, you wouldn't be on YouTube talking about games. Understand that. So for you to disrespect any gaming community, meaning you're not for games. You're for yourself. And I say this because there's been a lot of you guys come on YouTube, well, I watch the trailers, I like it, and if anyone doesn't like it, then they're not a Devil May Cry fan. So you're going to question people's fandom now over that. You got to be kidding me. That's just stupid, all right? And then when people get at you, you get broke down and then you admit, oh, I didn't know anything about this game. I didn't do my research. Well, that's the difference between the little leagues and the big leagues, all right? Do yourself a favor. Next time, do your research. All of you, do your research and then get back to people, all right? Because as far as I'm concerned, stay the fuck off YouTube. Go back to your forums. That's right. And be cheerleaders. That's what you do best. And all you guys want to get angry and start posting messages and lies, spreading lies and cursing people out. It's easy to get on here and curse people out. That's easy. But trying to help people? Nah, you scared of that. You scared of that. Anybody who thinks that I'm here, because another person said, oh, well, you know, he's just here to make some quick ratings or quick views. Really? You obviously do not watch my videos. Don't sit here and say that bullshit without knowing me. Don't do that, all right? Just because you're not doing anything, sitting there grumbling and all mad, doesn't mean that anyone else isn't doing anything. But I guess I could use the flip side and say to you, just like you say to everyone else, haters gonna hate. I could say that, couldn't I? But instead, I advise that you just shut the fuck up. And I would say, stay in your place. It's serious, it's ridiculous. But let's get back onto these insults. That's right, because you want us to try to game Ninja Theory, and yet Alex is still going on mocking the fans, especially with a smug-ass smile.
So I would just say, don't freak out over not seeing white hair the first time you saw it.
So tell me now, Ninja Theory fans, how are you going to justify that? He's still making fun of the fans. And who the hell is still talking about hair at this point? Seriously, there are more important factors going on in this game than some fucking hair that has been done and over with. But this is what I mean about when you make fun of customers. That when you make fun of customers, paying customers, they walk away from the product. That's what happens, all right? They walk away from the product, and then these people get angry, it causes a divide, and then they start photoshopping pictures or making comparison pictures. understand that this began with gamers and this ends with gamers. That's what this comes down to. Because gamers, like I said to you before, you are people. You are not a labeled person. You are not a unit sold. You are people. That's what you are. And if a company doesn't treat you like a person or give you the respect that you deserve, then they don't deserve your money. And they know this. This is why their backs are against the wall.
The gun is also, that Tam referred to my back as well as his, so.
You just heard it from them. If this game doesn't sell, they are in trouble. Especially when Capcom is looking for what? 5 million units sold? That's right, especially when they said they're trying to aim for 90s in reviews. Notice they never say anything about the fans. It's either the reviewers or the money. Understand that, guys. This is what they're going with. If they don't sell, they are in trouble. Gamers, the ball is in your court. That's right. It is up to you to vote with your wallets. I understand a lot of you already have your mind made up if you're going to buy this game or not. But this is for the people to understand what is going on. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all be safe. I'm out.